Hello, 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 guys. Um, Today we are going to read this. We are continue reading this book. We are on 185 page number. So let's start reading. 184. Yeah, 184 page number. We are on 31 page number. So let's start the timer. It, oh yeah. So let's start reading for 30 minutes straight. Um, Qualities for leader 17. Hmm. Advice to entrepreneurs, multiple tasking, open door policy, ethics in business, knowledge of the spiritual side, and political. ठीक है. Advice to entrepreneurs starting your own business and running it is no easy task, especially when you have no previous business experience. But that is how entrepreneurs are born. They start with an idea and dream to succeed. Most of them do not know the path they need to take, but the confidence they have takes them through all ups and downs till the final destination where their idea is finally converted to financial success. The most critical period in an entrepreneur's life is when he has already experimented with his idea a little and struggled the most, but money has not yet filled his pockets. Now he sits down and wonders what went wrong. All his near and dear ones are taking the opportunity to prove what he has wrong to have taken this path. Hold on, says Kautilya. Do not get into the metal trap at this stage. Wealth will slip away from the foolish person who continuously consults the stars. For wealth, the stars of wealth, what will the stars do? Capable men will certainly secure wealth at least after 100 tries. Your final big financial leap in business may be just around the corner, but getting frustrated after such a long period of failure, it is natural for one to wonder if fate and luck has really been on one side. That is when we turn to fortune tellers, astrologers, and palm you start to consult the zodiac, the sun, the star signs. But remember, your constant efforts are the only way out. Do not consult the stars. What will those innocent looking balls of burning gas, which appears as glowing points in the night sky? Do wealth alone is the star of wealth? Is the star of wealth? You have already put in a lot of efforts, time, and money into the idea. You truly believe it. Just continue doing this. Capable men will finally convert the whole idea into the amazing balance sheet. The final leap may come in many manners a big order, a turnaround plan, or a big investor. But one needs to keep undergoing these trials 100 times. This is the path followed by Bill Gates, who thought he would become the richest man in the world in such a short time. In such a short time. This is the route taken by Narayan Murthy or any other victorious entrepreneur, entrepreneur before they touch the success called wealth. Madam C.J. Walker, creator of a popular line of African American hair care products and America's first black female millionaire, said, I had to make my own living and my own opportunity, but I made it. Don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them. Multiple tasking. The success stories of the great organizations start with the dream and will of a single person. Once the dreams start becoming a reality, the little stream becomes a massive flow. As the organization grows, also grows, and more people join in. From a one man army, it becomes a full fledged army with its own dedicated lieutenants and soldiers. Finally, all the teamwork helps the organizations reach the summit of success. Hence, the key to success for a leader lies in effective delegations. Why is delegation required? Caudill says because of the simultaneity of undertakings, their main manifoldness, and they're having to be carried out in many different places. He, leader, should cause them to be carried by ministers, unperceived by him, so that there is no loss of place and time. Delegation is required due to the following reasons. Work happens simultaneously. In an office, various departments work simultaneously at the same time. Each of them is specialized in a particular area. Sales, accounts, marketing, HR, R&D, and many other processes, and go on continuously. Work happens at various places. These multiple tasks are carried out not only by various people but at various places. Some of the work happens inside the office, while many other tasks are carried out outside the office in a big organization. Work happens in various branches and also in various countries. Decision making should be decentralized, and given to various managers. The benefit is saving of time and place. As they say in business, time is money. Delayed decisions lead to loss of time and opportunities. A few tips for effective delegations are selection. Good decision makers should be made managers and department heads. An effective manager does not get stuck while taking decisions. He make many he may make mistakes, but after correcting himself, the work goes on at the right speed. Setting up the MIS. The head of the organizations needs to set up a good reporting system. In corporate language, this is technically called the Management Information System (MIS). Many software tools are available for this, or an organization can create one for its own use. Training. The decision makers have to be trained to report all the activities by using the MIS. This training ensures that everyone in the organizations can effectively use the reports. With the internet revolution, one can access the report anytime and anywhere. It is also cost effective. Control. The leader can keep track of the various developments and the shortcomings in each area on a daily basis. He can control the whole organizations with the help of a well-planned system. Peter Drucker, the father of modern management, once said, initially delegation is not easy. It gives a feeling of insecurity. However, one realizes that it leads to freedom. Open door policy. The leader of an organization has to be very alert and vigilant. He has to be aware that he might receive wrong as well as manipulated information from various sources. He has to be most wary about his own middleman. Middlemen from the for the senior management would be the junior managers, and also who deal with the lower staff on a daily basis. This middlemen report to the seniors. All that happens at the lower end. However, being totally dependent on the middleman can be dangerous. If one gets too dependent, they can change reports, encourage corruption, and also leak important data. Therefore, Kautilya advises an open door policy right not only for those at the junior most level in the organizations, but also those in the senior management. He should allow unrestricted entrance to those wishing to see him in connection with their affairs. Any person who wants to communicate with the seniors about their affairs should be encouraged as it helps bridge the gap of communication. Unrestricted entrance means middlemen cannot restrict or control whom you meet and share information with. In various organizations, one has to pass through secretaries to get the work done. Secretaries secretaries are required to leverage your work, but the moment one becomes dependent on them and they start taking decisions concerning people for you, watch out. A few benefits of an open door policy are direct information. Many officials from sales and marketing directly deal in the market as well as with the outside world. They are the eyes and ears of the company. The senior management can keep a finger on the pulse of the market and competitions by communicating with them directly, avoiding external threats. When employees are assured that they are listened to, they will not feel the need for external supporting agencies such as labor unions and political parties. Most of the external threats to organizations stem from internal insecurities felt down by their own people. Faster decisions, important decisions do not delay when problems are fixed as they occur. Decisions taken at the right time avoid confusions and understandings. Emotional bonding. Subordinates begin to feel a deep emotional bond with the leader who makes it clear, usually by example, that he will be by their side in tight situations, as well as when there are joys to share. The presence of such a leader builds a sense of security and faith in the team. One of the basic human requirements is to have someone who can listen to your problems. Effective leaders understand this psychological need. Therefore, successful leaders always communicate to their team. Okay, I will be there whenever you have a problem. Ethics in business. Ethics in business. What are the ethics in the business? There are huge misunderstanding about Kautilya, also known as the Chanakya. People generally believe that he was a shrewd and cunning um, person that is just a myth. While training his student in the management of the kingdom, he emphasized the importance of having a sound philosophy in order to become a good leader. Ethics and morals were top priority for him. In the very first chapter of Arthashastra, titled The Topic of Training, he outlines the importance of a spiritual foundation. Therefore, he says, in the Arthashastra, philosophy is ever thought of as the lamp of all science, as the means of all actions, and support of all laws. The root of any business lies in its core value system, its philosophy. This is also pointed out by the father of modern management, Peter Drucker. He said profits are byproducts by business, not its very goal. In the above verse, Kautilya brings out the final point of the importance of ethics in business. Guidance. The value system created by the founders of any organization always becomes the guiding force for the organization. Even during calamities and difficult times, these values become a lighthouse providing direction, like a lamp. It guides us through darkness, decisions in action, how to proceed when, even when drawing up a plan is always the big questions in business. Either one can take the easy route where success is quick and yet short lived, or one can take the route less traveled where success is delayed but is everlasting. Only an ethical person can easily handle these tough decisions adhering to law. A good businessman is not just law fearing but also law abiding. He follows the law of the land as set up by the constitution. At the same time, he also understands the higher universal law of nature. His thoughts become very powerful. Such a businessman contributes to society and brings great economic prosperity to all persons connected with him, doing one's duty. For such person, duty is priority over rights. He understands the importance of giving more than what is taken and producing more than what is consumed. His work and duty is not influenced by pressure, but is born out of joy and service. Once an Indian company who believes is in ethically conducting business was asked by a politician for a small bribe to clear a huge project. The sum was small compared to the size of the project. However, the philosophy of the organization did not support bribing. The result, they dropped. The project, the game, still continues to be the most trusted company in the world, in the country. Kautilya's have called such a highly spiritual leader and businessman Rajesh Raja Rishi. Start now. The Indian economy is currently functioning. Start now. The Indian economy is currently functioning, 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 functioning at its base. Foreign investors are pouring money into the India. Job opportunities have opened up. Starting a new business is no more limited to the rich class. In today's corporate scenario, there are multiple opportunities for anything you want to do. Yet we find people sad, stressed, and worrying about the future. Kautilya suggests, having found a matter for considerations, he should not allow time to pass. Do not wait for any golden moment to start what you always wanted to do. The best time is not the Murat, the Pandit suggests, not even the right dates that came up in a calendar. It is the right here and now. After having considered a matter, start work on it immediately. Remember always that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. The journey of the 1,000 miles begins with the first step. While starting any project or assignment, a few tips from the Arthashastra should be helpful. Self effort. Self effort. There is always a problem when it comes to starting anything. Maximum energy is required at this point. You need to challenge yourself to shake off your laziness. Do not procrastinate. A job started is a job half done. Just start. Just start. Prepare a plan. Starting does not mean just getting excited. You need to have direction for how you are going to reach your goal. Take a piece of paper or open a new file in your computer and jot down the points. Give shape to your thoughts. Prepare a blueprint of what you want to do. Begin with the end in the mind. Begin with the end in the mind. Consult an expert. If you are not sure if your ideas are practical, ask an expert for advice. Take the help of someone who can guide you to make your dreams a reality. It's very important not to go to people who say it will not work. In the initial stages, such a negative energy must be avoided. You will kill the child even before it is born. Your consultant should display a positive attitude and should be successful in his own field. Work out your plan. All said and done. You have to work out your plan. Do not spend too much time trying to make your plan perfect. Plans are theories that can be successful only if they are given the wings of practical application. Once you start, the help and required resources will come your way. You will learn a lot as you keep putting more and more efforts into your dream. You can keep improving your plan along the way. However, it is important to complete what you have started to achieve. It's not important how many things you have started. What is important is how many of them you have completed. Complete what you have started and then start again after you have completed. Knowledge for a leader. Swami Vivekananda had once predicted that India would rise on the basis of its knowledge. True enough. Knowledge has become the greatest asset of your country, of our country. As more and more projects are being outsourced to India, we have to focus more on the strength of our knowledge. Whether it's whether it is KPO, knowledge process or outsourcing, or R&D, research and development. R&D, R&D. India has great advantages over its counterparts. However, this knowledge cannot be restricted to just hiring intelligent managers from top B schools. The leaders or the CEO, chief executive or the officer of the organization himself should be knowledge seeker. Kautilya advises just as an elephant blinded by intoxicant and mounted by an intoxicated driver crushes whatever it finds on the way. So the king, not possessed of the eye of sense, and hence blind, has risen to destroy the citizens and the country people. The CEO of an organization hold a position of power, and is the commander and the decision maker. However, if he gets intoxicated by his power and position alone, it will definitely not be long before uh, he loses his chair and may even destroy the organization itself. This is where we need Kautilya's advices about focusing on knowledge. A leader should focus on making his organizations knowledge organizations, but first he has to start with himself. The Arthashastra offers some advice on this. Gather more information. A CEO should have his information gathering system in place. He should get any information he requires at the speed of thought. He can use technology, gather information quickly, but also remember information does not mean knowledge. Okay, study the information acquired. It is very important for a leader to study and analyze the information he gathers. He should spend at least an hour per day reading the books and learning something new. He must meet experts from different fields at least once a week. Experiment what the CEO has learned should be applied in the organizations. Try new methods and invest in a new technology. Take measures, calculate risk, and a part of the budget should be allocated for research and development. Train. Next, he should train his own staff and team members about the new knowledge. No leader should be afraid that he will lose his position and authority if his subordinates become better than him. That only shows insecurity and ego. Learn to delegate and trust your subordinates. Today we require more and more knowledge-oriented CEOs, as Rabindranath Tagore wrote in the Gitanjali, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free into that haven of freedom. My father let my country awake. Decision making. To become a leader, you should think like a leader. Sit down and observe what qualities good leaders have, and then start practicing them. One of the important qualities of leader is good decision making. Chanakya says he should hear every urgent matter and not put it off. An affair postponed becomes difficult to settle or even impossible to settle. There is a lot of work that can move forward without the leader's final sanction. Thus, Chanakya suggests that if a subordinate comes to him with an urgent matter, he should listen to him at once. If he postpones a decision, the pressure gets piles up and then the situation get out of control. A leader has to be fast thinker, a fast decision maker, and a fast implementer. He has no time to waste. Analyzing is good, but moving ahead is more important. How can one become a good decision maker? Do not be afraid to make mistakes. In an interview, a CEO was asked the secret of his success by taking timely decisions. He replied, how do you know if your decisions are correct? He was asked the CEO snap by taking wrong decisions. Every child has to be fall before he learns to walk and run. Do not afraid of making mistakes, but what is important is to learn from this mistake. At the same time, do not keep making mistakes eternally. Set up at a time frame. Where you are planning and thinking about an assignment or projects, give yourself enough time to think about various possibilities. But there must be a time frame by when you will have to take some actions. Only then will theory meet practice. Encourage others to take decisions. Work gets stuck when it is dependent on a single person. Learn to delegate smaller decisions to your subordinates. Your organizations should become self-managed mechanism. Train others and make them responsible. You should only be dealing with the important matters at the top. The game should be bigger than the player. The organization should be bigger than the employees. The purpose should be bigger than you and me. Spiritual side. The head or the boss in any organization has an additional responsibility these days. Being an important contributor to society after all. Modern businessmen provide employment, create revenue for the government, and are socially contributing entities. If the head of an organization works with the right attitude, the king or the leader not only experiences its benefits in this world, but also in the next world. Chanakya says, carrying out his own duty, the king who protects the subjects according to the law leads to heaven. One who does not protect or who inflicts an unjust punishment, this condition would be the reverse of this. Now, please remember that the Chanakya did not literally mean heaven or hell. Both are states of mind. When you are happy and satisfied, the mental state is heaven, while stress, tension, uncertainty is hell for any human being. So, how can we transform our workplace into the heaven? Carry out your work, carry out your own work well. The prime duty of a leader is to protect and take care of his subordinates. Instead of some thinking about my gain, he has to think about our gain. This is an attitude no business schools can teach. It comes when the sense of responsibilities and the commitment. Greater, great leaders have strong shoulders and a big heart. And you practice this, you will realize the depth of the age old adage work and is worship. Respect the laws of the land. In the course of your duty, abide by the law. The law of the government and its policy have to be carried out properly. No illegal work can give any person satisfaction. It only makes you insecure. Remember, many organizations have ruined themselves by getting into illegitimate work. Pay your taxes and be a company that also plays a role in social development. Also understand the laws of nature. Enjoy life but never overindulge anything. A sense of balance needs to be maintained. Be just. As a leader, you are a law unto yourself. If there is a conflict, your subjects or employees will come to you seeking justice at such times. Your integrity can help resolve issues in, in the just and right manner. Chanakya said in the Arthashastra, a king who is served in punishment becomes a terror. The one who is too mild is taken for granted. However, however, the king just the rod is honored and respected. The art has to be developed. In the olden days, the king was considered to be God. In fact, there is an Indian saying, Raja Pratyaksha Devta, meaning a good king is God himself. Hence, all the business leaders and create heaven or hell in their companies all by themselves. An eye for detail. Understanding the growth of any business entity is a beautiful study in itself. Most corporates usually started with one man's dreams, then a like-minded person decided to become partner and provide up support. The next step involves a group of people joining the vision, and finally, the firm gradually expands into the large corporation. When a company keeps growing in terms of sales and revenues, the number of transactions it does also grows. Now, that is something that the leaders and founders may not have the time to keep an eye on, as they have to focus on the larger picture. At such times, we require supervisors from different departments to look into the details of all the transactions and the activities. The advice given by the Chanakya to the commodity stores supervisors gives us an insight into the how important micromanagement is for large corporations. Chanakya says he should personally observe the amount of increase or decrease in the grains when pounded ground or fried, and when they are moistened and dried or cooked. So for every small task, there should be a system in place to monitor and supervise it. And since this system alone cannot be helpful, the department in charge should also personally observe the details. Now, how can the head of the department HOD do this? Here are some tips. Okay, there is time up. I think so. Yeah. Okay, that's my time. I bookmark this. So let's end the stream. And yeah, that's it for today. And at the end of the day, they got to end.